So first,
absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast Kid Nation edition. We are covering episode 3 of one of the craziest shows I've ever watched. Today, my dad, right before we recorded this, my dad called and he was like, "So what are you podcasting about today?" I was like, "This show called Kid Nation. That's basically Lord of the
child abuse."
Yeah. And he was like, "Should I watch it?" And I was like, "Honestly, you might like it."
I'm pretty sure I watched it with my parents back when it was on, and I mean, I loved it as a kid, but it is, red flags are waving.
If you have humor like us, your parents would find this show funny too. Because they raised you to be who you are today.
It's also a relic in time, being like, this would never happen today.
This is so stupid. It's literally Lord of the Flies. Anyway, before we get into it, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Also Podcast and our Patreon. All the links are in our description. Also, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. And I think that's it because we're going to jump right into it because guess who took no notes, but it's all locked up here because I can't unsee this show.
Honestly, I know. It is such a interesting dynamic change whenever I lead these ones.
I actually do have a question.
Yeah.
Because one of the parents mentioned it. Are they missing school for this?
Alicia, I noted that in my brain too.
Because one of the parents was like, I always see the school bus go back. But then also it's like snowing where they are. So it's winter.
So maybe it's like the spring semester of school. Like,
I think it's like fall to winter. Like, I think they're going to go home. It's going to be Thanksgiving.
That makes sense. But like, they're only missing like a month of school if you think about it. Or like 4 weeks of school.
This is like October?
Yeah, probably.
Our parents would make them do this in January.
Because it's the desert. It has to be decently cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Nevada or New Mexico.
I clocked that too because they're wearing like winter jackets in their showdowns now, and they're always in sweatshirts.
Yeah, when that parent said, I see the school bus go by, I went, wait, you signed your kid up for this and said it's okay if you miss a month of school. Totally fine.
Yes, they did.
That no wonder Jimmy is going back to school to be a doctor. He was the only one that got educated. He left. I'm just saying.
Oh,
anyway.
Man. Wow.
Let's do it.
Did you say do all the things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're ready for me. You're fully ready for
the
me.
Intro.
Okay.
Let's get down and dirty with it.
Well, previously on Kid Nation, I don't know if you know, but 40 young pioneers put roots in the ghost town called Bonanza City.
This host, the worst. I hope I'm going to try and do a deep dive on him. I hope he never found work again.
Oh, man. Well, don't worry because there are people watching over them. Their town council, fellow, 10-year-olds to 12-year-olds, Mike, Angie, Laurel, and Taylor. And they have a huge decision to make. Every 3 days, they choose which one kid will get a gold star worth $20K.
For a show with zero budget, they're handing out $20,000 like it's a job.
Well, I bet the kids are not making a lot on this show. So, this is the money they're making.
I know because I did deep dives on all these kids.
Damn.
Which we're going to do at the end. I'm going to ruin the magic of the show in the last episode.
Okay, thank. I don't know that, so I can't wait to learn that. The kids are hungry, and they had to decide if they wanted chicken. So they have to decide if they want chicken last episode. They constantly have to decide the gold stars. Greg, oldest kid of the bunch, was, taking charge. He turned 2 chickens into chicken noodle soup. And I was like, why do we have to relive this?
The fact that Greg knew how to do this at 15, and if someone asked me to just describe how to kill a chicken, I couldn't do it at 30, is crazy.
At 30, I can barely cut a chicken breast.
I don't even know how to cook chicken. This kid literally killed 2 of them. That's crazy.
Yes.
And then unfeathered that. I can't get
Yeah.
over it. I
No,
hope
no.
Greg went to therapy. I know he didn't, but I hope he did.
We also have Michael, who is wise beyond his years and, giving the speeches of a century.
Oh, I love
But
Michael.
we also have some young kids who are really sad, like Mallory and Cody. They're trying to cope from being away from home for the first time. We have all the kids are split up into 4 districts. They every time will, participate in a showdown to determine what type of jobs and money they get. Last time, blue was on top. They were the upper class. Green was on the bottom. Yet again, they constantly are struggling.
They're the laborers, like any good class
Oh
system.
God, yellow is in the kitchen where they're like that's where they're supposed to be, but
Oh,
they're
the
not in the
word.
kitchen. It's just chaos. But last week, Michael received the second gold star, which was
Mhm.
great. He really
Well deserved.
deserved it.
Well
But you know
deserved.
what? Who will win the next one? Will anyone go home? Can the kids really build a better world?
Down with town council. Down with this council. They're the worst group of
Oh
kids.
my God. Well, it is after the town council meeting and they're in the saloon and Greg is giving a toast. Everybody's worked so hard. It is time to party and have some fun.
I've decided I wouldn't have a crush on Greg anymore. He's so
You're over
annoying.
him?
I'm over Greg.
That was quick.
15-year-old me would be looking at Michael. I mean, he's younger, so that would definitely not happen. But Michael's sweeter.
That's
Greg's a
true.
menace.
That's true.
I'm concerned because Greg didn't win the gold star. This whole episode going, he's going to burn the
The
town
town
down.
down. I know he's
He's gonna burn
constantly
it.
like walking on the edge of like, is he about to destroy everything or is he still trying to get that gold star and holding it together?
Yeah, is this little shit going to beat some kid up or is he actually going to pull his weight?
Well, no matter what, they're all going to party tonight. They've all agreed they deserve one night of fun. And I was like,
The
oh
fact
my
that the
God.
saloon is a bar is so scary. They are throwing shit in their
They're
soda,
doing basically Irish car bombs.
chugging it,
They're
and they're
mugs
like,
too. Like they're not just like having soda, like they are participating as if this is beer.
they're like, yeah, that's what they're called, Irish car bombs. They're doing
Yes.
those.
And they're like doing them on the bar. Like they're all standing on
Standing on the
tables and
bar.
bars. I was like, Jesus, this is
It
like
was
this is an insane moment going down. But also, wait,
it
really
was
quick.
so funny.
I believe it's Laurel standing up on the bar saying, like, thanks to everybody who donated money. Red donated the most and green donated half of theirs. Blue is the upper class. Why are they not paying the most?
Because that shit Greg isn't going to give his money up.
Like, damn. Like, I know red was on top or has been like, red and green or blue have been on the top for the
The
last
whole
2
time,
weeks.
yeah.
So like they have the money, but why is green donating half their money when they get like 10 cents?
I feel like no one in this town is going to let anyone starve, right? So I
That's
think
true.
they should really just have communal money.
I mean, okay, but you're asking for a communist or not a communist,
Socialist society.
Alicia wants a communist society going on here, a socialist society, and that's just not what this town is. This is I
It
don't
is, though.
know fully what this is,
We're all
but
pulling our money at the bar. Equality at the bar.
I mean, let's do that in real life. I would
When you're
thoroughly
here, your
enjoy it.
family. Yeah.
Well,
Shut up.
speaking of family, we've got Olivia and
Oh,
Mallory, the sisters. They're also with Emily, the chicken lover from last week.
is Olivia the older one?
Olivia's the older one. Mallory's
I
the
don't think
younger
I
one.
like Olivia.
And Olivia and Mallory, I think, are both on blue. I know Mallory for sure is on blue.
I think they're on the same team.
Yeah, but
Mallory seems fine. Olivia seems like a girl I would want to just roll my eyes at constantly.
Yes, but
Emily seems nice enough.
she's leveled out
but
for you.
She just likes chicken so much. Like, just let her live.
chill.
After she got threatened by that one kid last episode,
Yeah.
I'll never forgive that kid. So
I agree.
okay.
I agree. Well, they didn't go to the party because there's a showdown tomorrow and we have to get to bed. We need 8 hours here.
They're fucking lame. We're in a fake society where there are no adults, but there probably are because they're cameramen and producers, I assume.
Can you imagine if this was all produced by children?
No, because the footage would be unreadable. The camera would
True.
drop.
True.
And you're not gonna convince me that these kids aren't eating like one square meal a day.
Yeah.
So there are adults, and these kids are like, but like bedtime. I get Mallory; she's 8, but like
Olivia, chill out.
you gotta chill. Like it's not that fucking
Go
serious.
rip some Irish car bombs over at the saloon
We're
with
not
Greg.
actually drinking alcohol. It's just root beer. Like calm down.
Yes. Well, it's the end of the night, and the next morning comes, it's day 8, and the saloon is a disaster. Like it should be after a rager. Like these
Yeah, hell
kids
yeah.
partied hard.
Hell yeah.
The bells are ringing, everybody's waking up, and there's
And
jobs to
town
do.
council is like, everyone get up.
But nobody's stirring. It was a late night
We're
for that crew.
hungover.
Yeah.
We had sugar rushes. We didn't get to bed until at least 10.
Probably.
We're
Mallory
tired.
says this is kind of ridiculous. Like that's what you get for staying up all night. Like you're not going to get up. You're not going to do your jobs. Like you've ruined the whole day.
Listen, I don't know, even though I did deep dives on all these kids, I don't know this, but Mallory just seems like the type in college who like didn't let you drink on a school night,
Yeah.
and then she would wake you up
Yes.
just to be a
Can you
bitch.
imagine having an 8 a.m. class with those two?
You smell like beer. That's what they would say.
Yeah,
And
I
I'd be like,
purposely did
I
that.
fucking hate that.
Well, Greg is also not happy that people aren't working, and he's going about it a different way. He is just
He was ripping
banging.
Irish car bombs,
Yeah.
and he's up.
Yeah, so if like he's up, he's like everybody should be doing their
Everyone should
jobs.
be.
So he's banging his pans, and
It's such a shit.
Jared's pissed. He is not having
Jared's
this.
pissed. Yeah, we don't have adults to tell us to get up and do what work. What
Okay,
work?
I would say the kitchen needs to get a work in.
Just everyone who's up, go to the kitchen if you really want breakfast that bad. But like truly, I'm pissed if I'm Jared. And Greg's not even doing it nice. He's literally taking his pans into the ear of someone else.
And then like later he like drags their sleeping bags out into
a girl's sleeping bag.
I was like, okay, it isn't that serious. I kind of get some pans maybe in the middle of the town square as another bell.
The pans were kind of funny if you walk in the room and you just do it and then you walk out. To like straddle someone and then pan their face, that's a little crazy. But like that was funny. I was like, yeah, rock out. The minute he laid hands on these not laid hands, but
it's
grabbed
like to go get them dirty. It's like dusty out there. We have 32 more days. It is, I believe, only day 8. Yeah, it is day 8 today.
No one on this earth loves any boy between the ages of 13 and 17, even their parents.
Good point.
You cannot convince me that parents are like, "Oh, I love my kid, my son," when he's in this age range.
You know what, though?
They're menaces.
It's a good move on production for getting Greg because he is causing a stir. He is the drama.
Greg is the casting star, the shining light.
Honestly.
But he sucks. Like, even when you're a 15-year-old girl, you hate 15-year-old boys.
Yes. Can you imagine having to live with one like this?
Menaces.
Yeah.
No.
Well, obviously the town knows that there are problems, and the original settlers of Bonanza City have already been through this, I bet. So the council goes to read the infamous journal, and we talk about
how always aligns perfectly with what's happening in the town.
I'm actually so confused at how production is doing this and like what's happening behind the scenes.
Production said, "Oh my god, everyone should go to the saloon."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Have a party. That would be so fun. And then the next day they were like, "This is your journal."
That's the thing. They probably have like 8 different things prepped, and they're just like, oh, whichever one fits the bill today.
Yeah, like they're ready.
Well, we hear about how the townspeople are spending their money, and the saloon's open late, I bet, and that's where the problem started in the original Bonanza City. It's time to institute some law and order.
This is a dictatorship.
They recommend passing a curfew for everyone, and the town council has to set a time. They kind of discuss about it amongst the 4 of them.
This is so funny too, because they're all 12.
Yes.
And they're like 9:30 probably.
Well, Anjay's like 9, and then Mike's like, I don't know, I feel like 9:30, and I'm like, oh yeah, the 30 minutes really is doing a lot for everybody.
It brought me back to when I was a kid and I had a curfew, a bedtime or whatever of like 8:30, and I would lay in bed and I'd be like, everyone's living life without me. That extra hour would really.
It would drive me nuts being like a 12 to 14, 15-year-old because at that point your parents probably aren't like you don't have a hard set bedtime. It's just like you
You
manage
have to
yourself.
lay in bed by 9.
Yeah, like they would tell you probably to go to bed at a
Yeah,
certain
they would
point,
turn the
but
TV off and go to bed.
yeah, but
But you could lay up. We all did it. I mean, I was up staring at the ceiling for hours, being like,
I
and now I
was
regret that because I wish I had extra
ugh,
hours to sleep.
right,
Oh,
right.
I'm a fool.
Well,
Anyway,
anyways, the town council comes and delivers the message. This is right after Greg just pulled all those sleeping bags into the town. And
and
so
everyone is so mad, rightfully so.
rightfully so. And the town council finds him and they're like, you know what, Greg? We used to respect you. We used to think you deserved that gold star.
Laurel at 12 years old and a girl squaring up to Greg,
Oh my
Boston Strong.
God.
They don't build them like that
No,
anywhere else.
no. And Greg is like cursing and he's going into one of the bunks and like coming out the window, screaming back at him. It is a
This
scene.
was so funny. His trucker mouth. He'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And all the kids are,
But I get it because like they pulled from a range of backgrounds that there are some
it was
people that
so
probably
good.
never hear cursing in their homes.
Well, we learned that I think Morgan, Mallory, and Olivia all come from very
Really,
conservative
yeah.
religious homes,
Hmm.
and Morgan was sitting there going like, "I don't understand why he needs to use that language." And I was like, "We're cut from different." Sure, I went to church, but my mom wasn't looking. I swore left and
Oh
right.
my God, my parents swore a lot. Like
Yeah, Mallory's 8, but
they've never heard language like this, and it is so
no,
jarring to them, which is fun.
they can't even watch Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. They're stuck at PBS Kids.
Probably not, but whatever. So Greg and Blaine are fighting amongst everybody sitting outside his
People
bunk.
are holding
Yes,
Blaine,
and
Blaine, give props to my dude Blaine, who is not a main character. He grabs Greg at one point and pulls
is
him
like,
out.
all right, we're done here. So
Greg was about to throw hands at these 12-year-olds.
yes, Olivia goes and finds her sister Mallory, who is hiding after the incident, and Olivia really wants to protect her from like all the bad things happening in the town.
The sinners.
And Mallory breaks down. She misses her parents a lot, which I get this.
She's
It is
8.
it
I
is
get
really
it.
hard to see the young ones like so
I know.
sad. That's what a jarring experience if you've never been away from your parents to be in a town alone.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. At 8 years old, luckily Mallory's one of the lucky ones. She has an older sister.
Yeah,
So like a piece of home, but like my dude Jimmy, he didn't fucking have that.
I
I get it. You're
know.
8 and then you have to eat like soggy pasta
That's like,
and
it's like you have no comforts and you have to like work.
you're cold all the time.
I
Like if I was a tween to a teenager,
This would be kind of
would be
fun.
like I'd be like, we're going to summer camp and
Yeah.
no one can control me except that stupid town council kid. They're trying to get me in bed by 9:30.
But you know
But
this is all a joke too, so it
yeah,
doesn't mean much.
yeah, that's the thing. Is it's a joke. My acting career will probably take off after this. Like I'm not
Mhm.
thinking about that. The 8-year-olds, they just want to like hug their mom and dad and maybe
Mallory
like
literally says she wants to be on her couch with her family, and I was like, oh, I understand that feeling.
I to an extent at like 8 years old I also would think that.
Well, like I want the comfort of like laying on my own couch and like
Yeah.
my home.
Yeah, Mallory, and you could tell Mallory comes from like a very I think Indiana, so like close by us.
Hmm.
Um but also like we said very conservative, very like religious, very like family oriented.
Yeah.
So she has the comfort of that. The Greg doesn't want to go home. He's rough and tumble.
No.
Or Laurel's Boston strong. She's 12, rocking it out. The town council surprisingly has a lot of like strength to be here.
Yeah.
But those sweet, sweet 8-year-olds, Emily, her
Ugh.
chickens died. She wants to go home.
Honestly. Well,
I'm on a
Morgan
rant,
is
I
also
know.
upset that there's inappropriate behavior
Oh,
in
yeah.
front of those young kids. So she goes to Greg and Blaine and sorts it out and just like,
She was great. She walked right up
Yep.
and she was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you."
yep,
She goes, "That was inappropriate."
we're not doing that in front of
And
these little 8-year-olds here.
Greg storms off like the 15-year-old boy he is. Ugh.
Well,
They don't get better.
no. Well, we moved to the town meeting because we have to get to what the town council dealt with. That we have now a curfew, 9:30, and
Wretched.
massive uproar.
Yeah.
They're not having it. But Colton tells everyone like to just stop yelling and just deal with it, which I kind of get. Like, come on.
Was Colton that kid that yelled at Emily?
Yes.
Whatever. I've nothing to say about Colton.
Oh man. So Colton and some of the other guys, they go out into the pasture, and
This was so
Zach
dumb.
Zach goes, man, Colton is one of the bravest kids I've ever met.
No, he's the stupidest kid you've ever met because he is going full force at a bull.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Not just like running up, and like some of them were on their sides and they just trotted off. The bull is squaring at Colton, and it's like they're all like, dude, how about you stop?
Colton keeps approaching. I couldn't believe that, like, first of all, wild animals were here to like hurt the children.
I don't think
like,
they're wild. I think they're inevitably a prop.
probably, but like animals are very unpredictable.
Correct.
Like chickens can't really hurt you. A bull?
Yes.
That could fucking hurt you.
Yes.
And there were multiple bulls. And the fact that this stupid kid was like, I'm going to look at it dead on and make a move on this bull. You're a fucking moron.
Yes. Correct.
Never find happiness, Colton.
Well, we move on, and, you know, people are doing their jobs. Morgan and the green team are just sick of being laborers. I get it. They've been doing it back-to-back weeks. The kids in yellow are fighting with flour in the kitchen instead of cooking, per usual.
This was ridiculous. You can't waste our rations.
No.
Did they never play the Oregon Trail? You can't waste my rations.
This is the generation that did. Like, this is our generation. We played this. I'm shocked. I'd be pissed. You're already not working, and now you're, like, wasting shit. I'm done. And Mallory is done, too. She's on blue. She is, I believe, in that upper class.
She's raking the flour from the dirt.
But I was like, babe, you're doing nothing, actually. I appreciate the attempt here.
It's like when you sweep the outdoors. It's a good try, but...
Listen, a broom would have done 10 times what this rake was doing.
It was funny. It was
hilarious. Also,
hilarious.
it's flour. Like, the dirt and the flour will intermix. We don't need to clean this up.
It was funny. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yellow is also, classic not cooking, but it's also like a meal time. And so people are like, can we have breakfast? And Taylor starts bitching at him that it's going to be brunch, not breakfast. We're not having breakfast and lunch anymore. We'll always do brunch. So starting those kids early on the brunch train.
Isn't this the episode where they just hand people potatoes?
Did they?
In one of the episodes, they just take they had potatoes and they're like, come get your breakfast.
Oh.
And then it was like people held out their hands and then potatoes.
Yes, right. Yes, I think this is right after she was like, we're having brunch. Then they like had a pot that they were carrying around. They were like, don't complain. Just deal with it. Yep.
Yeah. Taylor's terrible.
Well, it's time for the showdown. And classic. It's all about law and order. Gotta be.
Oh my God. It's like this show is being produced or something.
Well, the town council are going to be the sheriffs, and the districts will have to gather up these criminals, which are just a bunch of sheep. And every sheep has a card on it. And
this was wild.
The kids have to collect all the aces, and it's just kind of like a call-out game from the town council to like get the right sheep and yada, yada, yada.
Basically, they thought it'd be a really good idea if kids wrestled sheep.
I mean, I've seen other shows do this, maybe not children, but...
Yeah, I mean, I've seen full-fledged adults do it on The Amazing Race. Never an 8-year-old. I've never seen an 8-year-old do it.
Well, to make it even harder, they only have 5 minutes to get that like entire town reward. And I was like, you are setting these kids up for failure.
Let me tell you, if someone tried to put me in there, I'm not great. There was one girl that kept like walking up behind a bunch of sheep and really quick, like grabbing it. That would be me. I'm not touching these sheep.
It seemed like only half the kids participated though.
Fucking, what's his name? DK from Chicago was like, I don't do animals. And I was like, I get it. But yeah, go on.
Well,
it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was good TV.
They release him into the pen, and the council's just screaming.
There's like Dean, go for Dean.
There's names of the sheep spray painted on their backs, So they're like
Animal
screaming the
cruelty and
name
children
of the
cruelty.
sheep and like trying to get somebody to listen to them, but it's just insanity. And I was like, all right, we're not getting the reward. We are not going to get this done in 5 minutes.
It was so funny. Like literally these kids are attaching, like holding on to these sheep like it's their job.
Yeah.
Animal cruelty for sure.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be shocked to hear this, that Greg has done another job in his young 14, 15 years of life. Greg has raised sheep, so it's like fine. He's going to be great at this.
Greg has lived more lives than I ever will.
I don't want
Like,
to live as many lives as
15,
he has.
He's been a plumber. He's
my
been
God.
a butcher. He has now also raised sheep. I'm assuming also so he's a shepherd.
Yeah.
Like this kid's done everything.
Either that or he's a really good liar, and I'm enjoying it.
There's a part of me that's like, as the oldest, he might just be like for comfort, like, hey, I've actually raised sheep before, no worries, like they're not dangerous. But inside he's like, I literally have never left my home. But also I think he's from like Nevada or somewhere out west.
We'll have to look at it.
So it's very possible there's like tons of.
He's just run into these.
He's
experiences.
like a farm boy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this kid he has a story, and I need to figure it out.
I agree. Well, he does really good in this challenge. He's very helpful.
Very good.
The older boys may cuss a lot, but they do show up in the showdowns. So honestly, we'll give them the passes. And Blue gets their first card. And then we go, and Colton also raised, with animals. We saw him with those steer, the cattle. This kid is fearless.
He's stupidly fearless.
Well, okay, it's a little bit better in this challenge to be stupidly fearless.
I mean, it's controlled.
Yes. Yeah. So he jumps on like a sheep, and he gets yellow's first card. So Blue and yellow are now tied. Blue grabs.
I'm rooting for green. I'm rooting for them.
I know, but they just always fall apart. I need them to get it together. Blue grabs their second card, and they just need one more to come out on top for the upper class spot again. Red, green have nothing, shockingly. We have 3.5 minutes left, and red is really struggling. Yellow goes and grabs their second card.
Oh, I was rooting against yellow like my life depended on it. I like Zachary, and I root for him.
I know, but like the lower yellow goes in the rankings, like of losing, it's like the closer they get to the kitchen. And so it's like, I'd almost rather them be the merchants than to be in the kitchen.
The merchants or the working class. I want
them as working class, but I'm just so scared every time that a second place team comes in,
I just need them not in upper class and not in the kitchen.
I agree. Well, green finally gets their first card, and then red does too. So blue follows up with a second. So we have it as yellow and blue have 2. And who's going to be that upper class? You need one more to win.
Oh, I was rooting for blue.
I know, but Colton runs and grabs that last ace, and yellow wins that upper class. Nobody's thrilled at all. And Michael finally gets another ace for green. So now they have 2. They're tied with blue for 2.
I was so happy for Michael.
Who's gonna be the merchants? But it's blue.
I can't believe I was this invested.
I know. Blue gets that final ace. And then it starts to rain. And it's like, all right, let's wrap this up. Green has 2. Red has 1. Who's going to come in last? And can we get this reward? They're really not like counting down at this point. I believe that they messed with the timing because they realized how stupid 5 minutes was. But
solid.
We move on, and red grabs another ace. So now we're tied 2-2. Green grabs a card, and they come in third. They get their third one.
I was so happy, and green deserves to be in that kitchen.
And they do well. I mean, they have Sophia, who does great in the kitchen. To be honest, they are just thrilled to not be the laborers, and red is the laborers. They started out high and mighty week 1 as the upper class, and now they're on the bottom.
Sorry, Jared.
Red does get their last card with 30 seconds or like 15 seconds left or something.
Which is so reward.
We get the reward. So we get a reveal. Option 1 is a microwave and hot cocoa.
This was so stupid. I said no immediately.
Option 2 is 40 hot pizzas. And every kid screams.
Pizzas.
I would have done pizzas.
Okay, yes, pizza can only last you so long, but these 40 kids aren't each going to eat a pizza, right? So then you could save the pizza and reheat it on the stove.
I agree.
And you get one meal where the kitchen doesn't have to cook. You get one meal where everyone's fulfilled. A
Yeah.
microwave, you can't cook it. You can only reheat in a microwave. They don't get
Yeah.
that.
I
They're like,
know.
we
No,
can cook
some of the
in the
kids do.
microwave.
Some of the kids do later, I feel like once. Okay, the decision is town council decides with the microwave and hot cocoa, and people are pissed.
And Mike's against it.
Yes. Well, I agree. Most of the kids are like, what can you cook in a microwave? This is so stupid.
I don't want cocoa. I could have had one day where I got pizza.
I
And I'll eat
agree.
cold pizza. Bet. We've all eaten pizza that stayed out overnight. I could eat pizza for breakfast,
It's
no
freezing
worries.
cold out. So, like, the outside is basically a micro or a
It's a
freezer.
refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could heat it up. Yes, you could reheat pizza in a microwave, but you could do it on the stove too. There's
Agreed.
plenty of ways to eat pizza cold, whatever. It doesn't matter. The cocoa and the microwave, what do
Stupid.
we have what? Canned peaches, apples,
Canned
and
apples. I forget what
what can we
else.
there's nothing you can reheat.
No.
Potatoes? You could just make the potatoes the day of. This is only good if you have leftovers.
I agree. Well, that's what they inevitably say is like, oh,
We
we're going to
don't
use it
have
so much on our leftovers. I don't want the crappy
food.
pancakes left over from yesterday. Like, just make me fresh ones.
Just make me fresh crappy pancakes. Like we don't have kid cuisine here. Like
Yeah,
we can't cook this food.
I
Oh
agree.
my god. You know what? Laurel Taylor and Anjay?
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
That terrible decision. Like normally it's very clear that like, okay, yeah, microwave would in theory be the better, like logical answer.
They
And
just
then
want to be
pizzas,
smart. Yeah, but
this
they're
was
being
dumb.
dumb.
Yeah.
Down with town council.
Agreed. Well, even more so down with town council because now it's the evening and they're at the saloon and Mike comes in and is like, "Oh, it's bedtime," and people are pissed.
Hey guys, it's curfew.
Hey,
The thing though is there's no authoritative there's there's authoritative figures in the town
but
council,
why
I
would I
guess.
listen to you?
There's no police officer. Like
No.
there's no one that's going to punish me if I don't listen.
And like because of how the system is set up, just from a production aspect, they played their little showdown. I think tomorrow they get their new money, and everybody gets it. You're not getting it withheld from you.
Yeah. I think it's like what else are we supposed to do? We didn't get the TV. We're just hanging at the saloon. Sure, we party once in a while, but like back the fuck off.
Yeah.
And like what's going to happen if I don't go to bed? Then what? Mike's going to yell at me?
Oh
Ooh,
no.
if I'm older than this town council, I'm not going to bed.
I agree. Well, everybody does. And it's now day 9. And Anjay is waking people up, and people actually are thrilled. They got 10 hours of sleep because this bedtime is ridiculous. That by the time, I think they planned it way too early so that people are getting 10 hours, but they clearly need it. Like, everybody's happy, everybody's up,
Yeah,
it's working.
it's fine.
So we go to work, and Red is the laborers. Jared fills up these buckets with water and tries to lift it up.
My dude Jared, this dude is gold.
Oh my
He's gold.
God, he can't
He
carry
cannot
it.
get the bucket. He brings it
No.
to the kitchen though, and he's like exhausted after.
He's done. And in the kitchen, Green is working. They're starting to tackle all the dishes that Yellow abandoned for the last
Are we
2
surprised?
weeks.
I'm not surprised.
Morgan has been working since 6:30 a.m. and I'm like, girl, you care too much about this. It's not that big of a deal.
She was in bed by 6:30. Yeah,
Good point.
she's in bed.
Laurel's taking notice and is like, hey, maybe she's gonna get the gold star, but we're also taking notice of some of the younger kids too. Sophia's making use of that microwave and hot cocoa. She's making some of the kids some hot cocoa, which I'm like,
The kids are like, I'm hungry, and she's like, let me make you hot cocoa with this microwave, and everyone's like, yeah, great,
everybody's like, I wish I had a slice of
great
pizza.
decision. Yeah.
Mallory is on the blue team and she is a merchant. So she's in that store.
God, she's such a narc. Both of them.
Okay,
She's like,
Mallory's cute in this store. Like this is like fun for her if you think about it. Like she's like playing house.
She's playing store.
Yeah. So she's like super friendly and like drives a hard bargain with Sophia about a stupid little
That's it.
bag.
It's so
It's
I
so
mean, it's cute.
campy.
It's so campy.
It's
It's so
cute because
cute.
Mallory's 8. Olivia talking about it like, oh my God, she's such a hard worker is annoying.
Yeah, we're just playing store.
Yeah.
Like Olivia's talking like Mallory has saved the town.
Yes.
She
Well,
sells the best part though is Sophia's like, I want to buy this bag. No one else will want this bag but me.
yes.
And Mallory's like, I agree. This bag
Is
is wanted by no one. And I was like, damn, Mallory's kind of a
damn.
savage for
And she
8.
drives her up on the price. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, if I was Sophia, I'd be pissed. I'd be
Maybe
like, what the
Mallory
fuck?
needs to be on town council. She's
Down
people
with
are
current town
listening to her.
council. Yeah, literally.
Well,
Well,
speaking
you're
of
not going to yell
somebody
at an 8-year-old.
true, somebody who is not doing something, that would be Yellow, the upper class, because they don't have a job and they didn't even do their job when they did have a job. So they're just
They
hanging
are the
out.
worst. Isn't there one kid though that
We'll get
is
there.
this where he okay, sorry.
But don't worry, they do have a lot of critiques. Taylor is yelling at the red team, the laborers, that they need to work harder. And I'm like, girly, you
And
just
clean the toilets.
yeah, it's like stop. Then we have a massive storm come through, and this freaks
Oh,
everyone
the
out.
windstorm.
And like half the people are
This was
outside
crazy.
and cannot move.
Dude, I thought who was it? Mallory was gonna get blown away.
I was like, okay, I'm kind of shocked production didn't like step in and like
Yeah, this
get
was
these
crazy.
kids inside. Damn, like they had to batten down the hatches.
This was crazy.
And as they wait out the storm, all the outhouses blow over. And
That was disgusting.
I was like, this is my nightmare.
I'm going home.
I would
I'm
immediately
going
at the
home.
next town council be like, I'm done.
I'm going home.
Get me out
Yeah.
of here because I'm not dealing with grossness. But
That's my breaking point. I'm telling everyone my only source of a toilet falls over. That's my breaking point. I'm done.
And I would like have to
coulda done
clean
the
it
rest of
up.
it.
Gross.
I could have done the microwave and the cocoa, but this is it.
Yeah,
This is it for me.
You're raising your hand to go home. But don't worry,
Okay.
we have a leader in Zach who's on Yellow. And
I love Zach. How old is he? 14, 13?
No,
12?
he's probably 11, I think. He's on Yellow. He's on the young kid team, but he's the older of the young kids, I think.
This kid is wonderful.
I know. He stands up on that saloon and is like, we are gonna fix this. I'm gonna need Blake. I'm gonna need Greg and Blaine, and like we are gonna tip those
the bigger boys.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it. And he's like, we're gonna hunker down and stay safe.
Yeah,
he's a wonderful child. To Zach's parents, I obviously don't know what happens later in the season or how he ends up, but so far you've done a great job with this kid.
I agree.
I'm
like
impressed.
He knows how to take charge. I've learned because I'm 30 years old now, but I've learned that in this show, you just got to walk up to somebody and be like, we're doing this. You can't really give them the option. And like most of the kids are and end up being pretty helpful. So you just got to take charge.
I think the older boys, as much as they suck, they know that
they need to do a lot.
They need to step up.
Yeah.
And I think that almost helps them behave a little better as they're like forced into being role models.
Well, I think if you give them something to do, they're less chaotic.
I also think a lot of people just need like a purpose or something to do. Yeah. So like my mom always believed if she signed us up for enough activities, we could never get in trouble because we'd never have any free time, which is so true. So these boys need to be like, here's going to be your task, and they're going to behave because they know they have a task to do and they have to be strong. That's why like when the kids start crying, Greg's actually kind of good at being like, hey, supportive. Don't miss your parents, because
he's good when he has like an authority too. Like I think he needs to feel important and useful.
I don't know if he should be on town council totally, but I do think if he's given a task, he can do it, and he'll set an example of like, we got this done.
Well, he needs to be like a leader of something.
Well, look how good he does in the daily what are they called?
The showdowns.
The showdowns. He's like, I have been a plumber. I can do this. When he had to kill the chicken, he's like, this is my task, and I can do it, and I can be strong. And I think that's how like kids operate. So you have the girls who are more like Morgan, who's like, I need to take care of the kids and make sure they're okay. And it's just like, you need to give them a task. And I love Zach also volunteering all the guys without asking them. because then the guys are like, we must step up.
Yes, exactly. Well,
If you don't give Greg and Blaine something to do, they're gonna graffiti the whole town, which they've already done.
Very true. Well, we also kind of snapped to Cody. He's kind of a new kid. We haven't really met him, but he's really
Yeah, who the hell
struggling.
is this kid?
He looks like Colton. I kind of got him confused with Colton, but he was
They're
crying.
both on yellow, right?
Yes, and they're like
Okay,
blind. So Cody's crying in his bunk, and he's really missing his family. It's just that if he left, he would miss Bonanza City, but he misses his family, and Mallory is also missing her family, and it's her birthday, and so there's just a lot of sadness with the younger kids.
Yeah. Well, Cody also says, if he leaves Bonanza City, he'll never see his friends he's made here again. Which in 2007 was
It's
true.
true. That actually is so true.
Facebook. Yeah. At 8, we didn't know we could stay connected virtually at this point.
You maybe remembered one phone number because you memorized it.
Yeah, and that was your best friend.
Yeah.
And spoiler, Cody has a girlfriend, so he's taken that. He's already memorized her phone number, which that was hilarious. He's really sad to be away from his girl since the 3rd grade they've been together.
I can't believe that.
If he's like 8 or 9, he's in like 5th grade, so it's been a few years.
Seriously. Well, we go and kind of see the town, the town council brings everybody together so we can kind of, everybody's waiting in line so the town council can hear everybody's thoughts about the gold star. So it feels like, a group choice, which I was like,
one by one.
This is a good idea. Even if you don't care what they say, you got to make them think that their voice is being heard.
Yeah, this was a great idea by town council. Still down with town council, but good decision.
At least while they're here, At least you're doing a little bit better.
Yeah, I haven't given the option to take you down yet. I keep asking for it, but until then, this was a good decision.
The highlights of the name are Greg votes for himself, and so does Blaine.
This kid's a nightmare. That was so funny. I'm going to actually vote for myself.
Morgan gets a lot of votes, and Morgan says that everybody deserves it. She's kind of a kiss ass, I'm going to be honest.
Get out of here, Morgan, loser.
Olivia votes for Mallory because she's been working hard in those shops, but it's also her birthday tomorrow, so
that we can all sit, as a child, we can all sympathize with
I can understand it. And they start to realize that the younger kids do get overlooked a little bit. I think it's Anjay says they're just below eye level, so we don't really see them. And I'm like,
that was so funny. This kid's a star.
Okay.
But it's true. Mallory can't tip an outhouse back the way Greg can.
No, but they still are showing up in their own way.
Yeah. Mallory's out here raking flour off the dirt. Stop. She's trying.
She's doing her best. She's really doing her best.
She's trying to do something.
Well, it's time for the town hall, and Jonathan gets right into it. How's life in Bonanza City? Everybody says it's good. But we quickly talk about how Yellow does nothing. They do no dishes.
We still hate town. I love week after week. He's like, who's not satisfied with town council? And at least half the hands are like,
it's like they raise their hands.
Front row every time.
But they're like, it's not all of town council. It's Yellow.
Yeah,
it is Taylor and Yellow. And Taylor's like, we're upper class and we earned it. Stop bitching about us. And it's like,
deal with it. She's a bitch. I'll say it. This kid has never been denied anything in her life.
No.
She obviously is very much in the pageant scene. And this is why pageant girls have a terrible reputation, because we all think about them like Taylor. Just terrible, bitchy cattiness.
She seems like she openly probably talks back to her parents and that just has no respect for other people.
Yeah, she's a mean girl.
Because she is constantly saying things to people like, deal with it and get over it. But the minute they say anything back to her, Taylor immediately starts sobbing up there.
Yeah, she's so mean to everyone. And then when they go, you're mean to us, we don't like you, she starts crying and she's like, I'll do better. And I was like, that's fake. Those are fake crocodile tears.
Yes. She's like, I'm really sorry. I'm going to improve. And they ask how she's going to. I like how they hold her to it. They're like, how?
Sophia's like, how? Sophia's crazy.
Yes. I appreciate it, though, because 1/4 of your town doing absolutely nothing is a huge hindrance.
Yeah.
But Yellow's going to start helping clean up the town, which is a generic saying that you can just be like, we will do things.
I will put money that for the rest, if leadership stays the same and the team stay the same, for as long as Taylor's in charge of Yellow, that town or that team will never clean
No.
up anything.
Nope.
I just want to say it. Great.
Well, does anybody want to leave? We still have 39 kids left. Anybody?
Me, after the outhouses, vote me out.
We look around and Mallory is okay. She's going to stay with her sister.
Her sister's sober. You know, her sister was like, do not fucking leave.
You're not leaving me.
You're not fucking leaving. And my dude Cody can go 3 more days without a girlfriend. He'll decide next week if he's gonna be done.
Well, we decide on the gold star and we give it to Mallory. She's so thankful and surprised.
It's her birthday.
I was going to say, let's be honest. It's because of her birthday.
Yeah, it's her birthday.
And
you
Greg
also know her sister is going to take half.
That's so true. She's like, this is my only way to get some money. I got to get my sister to do it.
Olivia's not going to get
Olivia's pimping out Mallory for that gold star.
Fair. I would too.
Greg's pissed per usual and actually kind of rightfully deserved this time because
he got in a fight. No.
I know. No. But he's like, it should be about hard work, not about your birthday. And I understand that take.
He said technically it was about her positive attitude, which I think the attitude goes a long way. I don't think though because she's so young, and this is terrible, and I understand, but like age plays a part. And if your attitude is really positive as an 8-year-old, but the attitude of a 15-year-old is really negative, like I'm going to listen to the 15-year-old.
Okay.
So I get it. I think this is the one and only like 8-year-old that will ever win a gold star.
Is great. Like at a certain point, Greg's gonna not be helpful over this gold star.
That's my fear. That's why I'm like, point, Greg is gonna get so pissed off that he will not be helping, and that's when the town will fall apart.
Correct. So I'm like, okay, I get it. This birthday was timely. So like in 3 days, when our next town meeting, you got to give it to Greg.
But there's a lot of contenders now. Like,
I know.
Here's the thing: is Greg. He is always helpful, but he always has a bad attitude, and he's out here like destroying property.
He bounces back and forth between bad attitude and good attitude. He bounces
back and forth, but his bad attitudes are bad.
Yes.
They're really bad, and they affect the town negatively. But now you got people popping up. You got Zachary on yellow, who's a star. You got Michael. Mike
already got one.
Right? Okay.
But you got Morgan.
You got Morgan. She's in the running now. Like, you got other people who the town council also likes better than you.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think the main
You know what he needs to do? He needs to he needs to smooth things over with Mike, because Mike is the one who's always like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Everybody else is okay with Greg getting it. Mike is the only detractor.
I get him wanting it. And I think at some point, Greg will have to deserve it. I think town council needs to like look in the future and be like, Greg has to get it at some point.
Yeah.
That being said, Greg literally tried to brawl one of the kids. It's not this week, my guy. It's like that thing at school where you have like one good day and then 3 bad days. And your teacher's like, you're not getting a gold star just because you have one good day.
That's true.
But I get it. Without Greg, this is falling apart.
Mallory gets her call from home, and she tells her parents that Kid Nation went crazy without any rules.
Oh my God. I fucking hate this show.
And that's the end of our episode.
Amazing. Okay, so Meredith, today's a very special day in the sense that you are going to get you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. You're going to get 3 kids' backgrounds because they're all interconnected.
Okay. Give it to me.
Okay, so because she won the star, I'm giving you Mallory, and in turn, I have to give you Olivia because they have the same background. So, Olivia wrote a book called Stronger Than You Think, The Sisters Who Survived Kid Nation.
No.
Yeah. So, as like B characters, they're doing this. They are described as TV personalities, and I didn't know why, because I just feel like they would have done something else. But
any like reality TV star is titled like a TV personality.
Yeah, but also like a lot of these kids I looked up, their like occupation also like popped up.
Okay.
Not these kids. Okay, so they both though did interviews for a bunch of radio stations as kids, including Radio Disney. So they like got some more exposure. as far as I can tell, they still live in Indiana and they're still besties because Mallory played a really big part in promoting the book because it's the
Okay.
sisters who survived Kid Nation. But the book also has a little tidbit, and it is
Oh.
so it's Stronger Than You Think, The Sisters Who Survived Kid Nation, with foreword by Anjay. Now, you might be thinking, what does forward mean?
That's the
It's
beginning of the book.
basically it's basically Anjay writing why you should read this book
Yeah.
in the book. So, because
I can't believe they
Anjay's
got
here,
Anjay to do it.
yeah, so Anjay is still friends with these two. They follow each other on Instagram. I went down Instagram deep dives.
Seriously.
Um, so so I'm assuming he stays in touch with these two, but he lives in um Seattle currently, but he used to live in Houston. So
Okay.
from what I can tell on his Instagram, he kind of
Bounced a
does a
little.
lot in both. He hasn't posted recently except for his dog that recently died, RIP. But he was a big spelling bee champ, which we already knew about him. For a second, I thought he was the Vine kid that got iridocyclitis. Remember that kid on
No, I
Vine?
don't, but
If you know, he was a Vine. He looks kind of like Anjay. And I thought because spelling bee, and this
yeah.
kid so funny goes iridocyclitis. And I thought like
Oh
maybe,
my
but it's
God.
not. It's not. That's not Anjay. Anyway, Anjay, though, went on and was the commentator for the Houston Public Media Spelling Bee. And he graduated from the
Oh my
honors college
God.
from the honors college at the University of Houston in 2015 with a degree in computer
Look
science.
at him. No, that makes sense why he's in Seattle.
And now he works at DocuSign.
Oh, did you go on his LinkedIn?
No, I think I found that on Wikipedia.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
using Wikipedia and Instagram for most of my deep
Love it. Love it.
dives.
Well, with that job
Most of
title, I
them.
was like, did you go really hard in the paint?
No, a lot of this did come from Wikipedia, and then if I found something on Wikipedia, I would. Well, then I found out because then when I saw Olivia and Mallory wrote a big book together and it was forwarded by Anjay, I then
Yeah.
went on their Instagram to see if Anjay followed them, and he did. And then I went to Anjay's followers to see like who he followed from the show, and then
Oh
I
my
went down a whole
God.
thing. And I
Dang.
mean, uh, the person that really I think follows most people and has kept in touch is Laurel because Laurel follows almost
Boston
everyone.
Strong.
She's Boston Strong. So yeah, but those are your three for this episode.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you
good
for that.
times. Good
Wow.
times. I gotta keep track of who I've done.
Well, thanks for
Yeah,
joining and do all the things. But
all the things.
bye.